Now in this module, let's talk about how to build a funnel for buyers' traffic. You may ask, why a funnel? Well, let me tell you why. I believe the majority of you are struggling with low traffic and weak conversion problems. Is that right? Are you struggling with getting traffic to your website or converting that traffic when it shows up? You think that you're losing your buyers, wasting your opportunities, or whatever it is. Let me tell you this. These are just symptoms of a much greater problem. What is the problem? You've guessed it right, a funnel problem. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, there's this one step that I want to remind you to take before you can grow any company. Now, what's that first step? The secret formula. Let me tell you the 4 questions that could solve your problems. First of all, ask yourself, who is my dream client? Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to attract? Is it the same thing when it comes to asking yourself, who is my dream guy or girl? I'm sure every one of you have asked yourself that question before. So tell me why you asked yourself that. Because you want a clearer picture of who that ideal someone is. Am I right? You don't want to just date anyone who's interested in you. So the same thing applies to this. You have to ask yourself, who is your dream client? What are they passionate about? What do they look like? What are their goals, dreams, and desires in life? List out the characteristics of your dream clients. It would be even greater if you could just find a few physical pictures to represent them. I know this may seem a little silly, but it does magic. Go through this short exercise yourself to find out how impactful it is. After doing that exercise, you already know who you're trying to attract. So the next thing to ask yourself, where can you find them? Where do they hang out online? Are they on Twitter or Facebook? What blogs do they read? What groups are they a part of? Then just list down a few of your dream clients that you think might be hanging out online. The third question you have to ask yourself is, what bait will you use to attract them? It could be a DVD, a CD, audio recording, or a physical book. Anything your dream customer would like or pay attention to. After all, this is the whole point of using a bait, right? You want to attract your customers to buy from you. Therefore, it's important to know what your customers want. You have to create the right bait. There's one thing about human beings. We all love results. People really don't care about the process to get there. People want to see the end results. Am I right? So the last step you have to ask yourself, what results do I want to give them? Now that you know who your dream clients are, where they are, you've got the perfect bait. Now it's all about the results you can offer. What then would you do to guarantee their success? It is very important. It is where you want to take them. I know this is a really simple exercise, but I just want you to take a few minutes now and really answer those 4 questions. Now let's talk about value ladder. Why value ladder? Because it's an essential ingredient for the sales funnel. Remember talking about the funnel problem in this previous module? So in order to start working on a sales funnel, you have to build out a value ladder. Don't worry, it's very simple. All you have to do is to think a little harder, be more creative and innovative. Just some simple steps and you can double or triple your sales. How great's that? Are you excited to know more about this? Let me explain how a value ladder works. It's pretty much like a ladder. If you see how we structure it, basically the vertical axis shows the value of the product or services that you'll be providing, and the horizontal axis shows the price. And of course, you want to bring your dream client to the top right-hand corner of this graph. It's where the highest value is provided, which means it's also where you can charge the highest. However, in order to attract your dream clients to reach the top, you have to make sure you're using the right bait. So ask yourself, what do my customers want? What can I offer them to make them ascend the ladder? If you do it right, you'll be able to move your clients to high-end services. The higher the value you're able to provide to your customers, the more you can charge. Oftentimes, people focus so much on the front-end products, but they neglect the back-end products. Remember, both are equally important. You don't want to lose your customers after purchasing just one of your products. If you want to beat out your competition, you need to construct a solid value ladder. Have you ever come across a product you really like, but you ended up walking away because it was too pricey? I believe we all have. For example, fine dining. Not everyone can afford it, and it's pretty obvious that they are only targeting the high-income people. Hence, we can come to a conclusion that the highest level service might not be the best fit for all people. You need to provide a wide range of offers so you get to attract more customers. You need to be different from the rest. You need to build a deeper funnel with more offerings. To put it simply, you need to build a funnel that will help you do two things. Firstly, you try to attract as many customers as possible. You provide value to each of them at the unique level of services at an affordable price. Customers are willing to purchase as long as they like you, see the credibility in you, and the value in what you're providing. Secondly, you target different groups of people. You target the ones who can ascend the value ladder where you provide the most value and make the most money out of it. These are your dream clients, and you don't want to just offer them one front-end product and bid goodbye to them. A buyer is always a buyer. Once they buy from you, they are going to keep buying as long as you can provide them value. Now, let me walk you through the process. As you can see from the diagram, the funnel, it consists of different steps. A funnel moves people through the sales process. Above the funnel is your potential customers, and they're entering as your traffic. At the top of the funnel is the bait you use to attract your customers. It's important to get the bait right, to know what your customers really want and pay attention to. In this step, you have to start placing ads featuring your bait and attract your potential customers. Next comes your front end. It's where you'll start selling your products. Potential customers will start raising hands, and a certain percentage of your traffic will purchase your offer. However, you do not stop there. You continue to move to the next step in your funnel. Introduce the next product or service in your value ladder. As you move down your funnel, you'll have to keep offering more value in your products or services. This is how you attract people to buy. Ask yourself, if you do not see any value in the products or services you purchase, would you still spend money getting more? Of course not. Hence, the key factor is to keep offering values and charge higher prices. As you move down your funnel, there will be lower percentage of customers attracted as compared to the front end. It makes sense, right? Although the value you offer increases, not everyone is willing to pay more, right? Trust me, continue offering more values and charge more prices as you move down the funnel. At the end of the day, what matters? Attracting your dream clients, am I right? Now, in this module, we'll talk about pre-framing. It's important for you to know the concept of pre-frame because each step in a funnel is a pre-frame for the next step. Now, for those who don't know what a pre-frame is, I'm just going to briefly explain what it is. Pre-framing is a really powerful tool that allows you to let someone know in advance what is going to happen. There are no limitations to this. You can have unlimited potential with this tool. Now the next question you may ask, why do you need to pre-frame? How can it help me solve my problems? Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think your initial action would be if you are faced with something new or something that makes you feel uncertain or uncomfortable? To reject, am I right? What about another scenario? Have you ever been dragged to an event, a party, or a seminar? You're there just because your family or friends want you to. You have no idea what to expect. You have no idea what's going on. How do you feel? Uncomfortable? Kinda lost? This is why you need a well-done pre-frame. A well-done pre-frame can eliminate potential doubt, hesitations, objections, disagreements, etc. With a pre-frame, you are giving yourself the advantage of handling challenges while they are small or even non-existent. Therefore, this tool should be used in every step of your funnel so that you can build relationships and get visitors to continue to buy from you. Building relationship is essential because people usually buy from people they like or trust. Now, that being said, it could also skyrocket your sales, whether it's the products or services you're selling. So if you spend time and effort on this, the results will follow. After all, you want to focus on the process to bring the best outcome, don't you? Now, here's my scenario that I want you to picture yourself in. If you know that you want to sell a product at a price that is slightly higher than the market price, what should you do? Pre-frame. You've guessed it right. You should bring it up first so that you can pre-frame it and allow your buyers to know in advance. Assume your buyer is a sharp business person. He must have done his homework to market research and knows what you're selling at a higher price as compared to your competitors. So how should you pre-frame it? You should tell them in advance that you know you're selling at a higher price, but you have to tell them how you're different from the rest. Can you provide more values, or is there any special packages, etc.? Because you started with pre-frame, it is more likely that the buyer will respond the way you want her to. And that's the state of mind you place someone in as they enter the next step of your sales funnel. Now that you understand pre-framing, I'm going to guide you through the 7 powerful phases of a funnel. First of all, you have to examine the mindset of the traffic before it reaches your site. In other words, you have to determine the traffic temperature. I know many of you have only paid a little or no attention to this, but it's important to know which of the 3 levels of traffic that come to your website. Is it hot, warm, or cold? Hot traffic is made up of people who already know who you are. These people are the ones who have subscribed to your podcast, read your blog, and are on your mailing list. Basically, you're going to talk to these people like your friends because you already have an established relationship with them. You can use personality-driven communication. You can share with them some of your personal stories, experiences, and opinions. Now let's talk about the second traffic, the warm traffic. These are people who don't know you, but they have a relationship with somebody you know. This is where joint ventures partnership work well. This level of traffic lends credibility to you, so people who don't know you will trust you and feel more comfortable when checking out your offers. For the cold traffic, it's made up of people who have no idea who you are. They don't know you, they don't know where you came from, they don't know what you offer, and they don't know whether they can trust you. These may be people who find you on Facebook, or maybe they stumble across your blog posts or articles. The most important thing to know is to figure out is the traffic temperature so that you can build the right pre-frame bridge, which will be covered in the next module. Now I'm going to teach you one of the most important concepts you can ever learn that will boost your sales, opt-in rate, and effectiveness of your traffic, and lead to generation efforts. It's called the pre-frame bridge. Now that you've figured out the traffic temperature, all you have to do is set up the pre-frame bridge. Note that different types of traffic need different bridges. The frame of mind that people are in before they visit your capture page plays a huge difference in your conversion rates. For the hot traffic bridge, it's the simplest among the 3. You don't have to do much because you already have an established relationship with these people, so you don't have to do a lot of pre-framing or credibility building. You can probably just write a blog post or send out a quick email with a link to your landing page. These people like and trust you, they already know who you are, so they will listen and do as you suggest. Now, what about the next pre-frame bridge? In the previous module, we talked about the different types of traffic temperature. Can you recall what the warm traffic is made up of? Can you guess what types of bridges are needed to get to your landing page? Of course, it's a little longer than a hot traffic bridge. All you need is a little note of endorsement from a person they trust, such as a personal email or a lift letter from a JV partner. The most important thing is to have you and your product endorsed from the list owner. It could be via email, article, video, etc. As for the third one, I'm sure you know it would take the longest. This is where a little trick comes into play. I'm sure many businesses out there are losing these kinds of customers. Why? Because they don't know how to convert these cold traffic people. Let me teach you how to set up a cold traffic bridge. First of all, you have to know that it is totally different from a hot traffic bridge. You can't just send an ad or an email and direct them to your landing page. You have to know that cold traffic people have no idea who you are. So for people who know very little about you, you have to build credibility and trust. You often need a whole separate page that they go through before they go to the landing page. This separate page is your bridge page. It should be able to provide value, educate, and also enable them to better appreciate the offer. More importantly, you have to make them convert. You don't want them to stay as your cold traffic forever, do you? Therefore, you have to put in some effort to set up the longest bridge among the 3 traffic with the goal of dramatically increasing conversions. Now, I'm going to list down a few ways to pre-frame an offer. You could do it through blogs, YouTube testimonials, and also a survey or quiz. The last one's quite interesting. Do you know how it works? Let me tell you what the trick is. Now, in a survey or quiz, people ask certain questions and get the mind's wheels spinning in a particular direction. What do you think they'll do next? Curious for answers, am I right? This is when they click over to the landing page where you reveal the answers or solutions. Now that you've covered this module, I'm sure you can really scale your business without losing any of your cold traffic. Now let's talk about the 3 ways to qualify subscribers. The goal here is to take all the 3 traffic, the hot, warm, and cold. In this case, you do not target specific traffic, but you take all the traffic. You want to find out who is willing to give you their contact details in exchange for more information. Note that if people are not willing to give you their contact information, they are unlikely to invest money in you later. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Would you go on a date with someone whom you have rejected when he asked you for your number? Very unlikely, right? So in this phase, you want to qualify your subscribers. It's usually done through squeeze or opt-in pages that offer something with value in exchange for contact information. People do not want to waste time or money on things that demonstrate no value. Hence, it's important to put in some effort when creating the option-in or squeeze page. After that, you can start qualifying buyers. You want to find out who among them is a buyer because, after all, you know that not all subscribers are your potential buyers. One thing to keep in mind, qualify your buyers immediately after you qualify your subscribers. Qualify buyers right away. Don't wait a day or a week. This is when a value ladder comes into play. After qualifying your buyers, you offer them something of value to get them hooked. Attract them and use the right bait. It is through this process that you'll get to know more about your buyers. Once you have identified who the buyers are, you can market to them differently. Don't forget that you've got 2 lists in your hand. One is your subscriber list and the other one is your buyers list. You can treat each of these lists differently. You can send them a postcard to talk to them over the phone or even add them to a separate email sequence. After you've identified the buyers, you want to identify the hyperactive buyers. From the term hyperactive, I'm sure you know what it means. Don't you love hyperactive buyers? I'm sure you do. So you have to identify these kinds of buyers as quickly as possible. You don't want to lose this opportunity to attract such buyers. These are the people who are in some kind of pain and are willing to buy more than one thing at a time to alleviate that pain. You must identify your hyperactive buyers. Know who they are and treat them differently. Increase the chain of upsell. Ascend them through your value ladder. By identifying these kinds of buyers, your sales will definitely skyrocket. In this step, you want to age and ascend your relationship. Now, at this point, value ladders become really important. You want to provide value and help people with whatever you offer. You want them to see the value you're providing so they'll keep coming back to buy from you, again and again. The goal is to move them up your value ladder to the very top. The last phase is to change the selling environment. You have to change accordingly. You just can't stay in your comfort zone. There are times when you have to just pick up the phone and sell over the phone or direct mail. It's even better to sell it through a seminar or live event where you get to see each other face to face. You can have the benefit of live feedback and overcome any objections. This usually applies to selling high-ticket products. Ask yourself, would you click a buy button for a $20,000 product that you see on a sales letter? Of course not, right? So when you change the selling environment, you can communicate at a different level. The best thing about this is that you get to ascend people up your value ladder, eventually ascending them to the very top level.